Go do this right, it's a lot more work where that came from. No doubt. All right, are you having a good time so far? We're gonna party here all night tonight. I'll leave a froze like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a froze like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a froze like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a froze like heroin in your nose. Never underestimate the real life. The gun swinging back, the same type of fuck. I let blood stay in every spot that I rock. I'm representing Jersey, spitting rhymes like a clock. Into the Cape Fear where MCs be shell shock. I got the stash in my dash with the stock in the blue. I own abuser. The stupid hook could use her. The pimp with the full counting back in the Land Cruiser. I get in charge from the sound of the bus. I was made to crush. I'm wetting rappers till they bust. Plus, my mention energy leak. Nigga deep. 20 sneak, we creep in the 5-car fleet. That's how I'm bouncing for the 9/5, son. We don't promote no masquerade, cause we was players from day one. We start trends, we make hits. KF and Larry O, we on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. Larry O, we on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry O, we on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry O, we on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry O, we on some real life shit. Tinted windows cause I'm moving with heat. I got a mean ass broad in my shotgun seat. We get up any day of the week. That nigga Larry O.B. they get rappers retreat. You know the life I fell. Chick is on my tail. I blow up your block, I let behave like black hell. I use an M16 to blast clowns off the planet in cold blood. My heart is made in planet. My counterpart, the K to the napkin. Wicked beat, the mass murderer with his left. I got the whole game locked. So, bricks on hold like pimp on the stroll. I'm busting caps to the sugar-coated rap, yo. This is a lyrical terrorist manifesto. Sipping the rim and getting lit. I'm hit. And getting a fat split from on some real life shit. I leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I leave a fools like heroin in your nose. Once more, for my niggas with the encore. One last verse to blow the spot till I burst. I'm about to sing cause I'm on some low shit. Rolling niggas on that ghetto pro shit. Damn, I hate this pedal for less. True that, I wanna live mega fat. Push events like a diplomat. Automatic text. Lazarus around my neck. Internet shit with Corleone respect. The international world-class dog came to rain on hip-hop. I can't stop. I shoot the breeze with expertise. The mic is like a toaster when I rhyme, I squeeze. The criminologist kicking criminology. The way I'm shaking you is like a bank robbery. So you don't fall, get face down. Take these slugs to your head so I can bust your fucking ground. That's what you get for playing slate. Can't that be like me, you'll be on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Gangsters, what's going on? Welcome to this afternoon edition of Gangsta Talk. And let me keep in mind that I am not the real host of Gangsta Talk. This is Lucy's show. But she's not ready to take it over with right now. But, so we're just holding it down for her and keeping it relevant until she's ready. And I assure you, when she's ready to take this bad boy over, it's going to be a lot better than what I'm doing because y'all know Lucy. Lucy is Lucy is a ball of fire. Okay, so and trust me, I can't wait. Just like the rest of you, when she takes over Gangsta Talk, I know it's going to go to the next level. But anyway, let me say shout out to those who are hanging in there with the 1 o'clock challenge and doing well. We have reports of 21-pound losses, 17-pound losses, 15-pound losses, and we're going. And we're now in the second phase of the 1 o'clock challenge. If anybody wants to know about that, my co-host Dane will be in here in a little while, and she'll drop the link. She has all of the information of the 1 o'clock challenge and what you need to do. It's not too late to get on it. And brothers, you're welcome. You can get on it too. Okay? Shout out to Bell Mort for coming in, hanging out with me. I got a topic I want to talk about. I don't care how many times people have heard certain things, but this is near and dear to me. I'm a compassionate man. Okay? I love our children. Our children are our future. This is not a fucking song. This is the real deal. Our children are our future. And what our children become, okay, that is what our race will become. All right? And I have a problem with what's going on with our children right now. The black fathers now are doing a piss poor job of raising our children. An extremely piss poor job in raising our boys. I can't express enough how bad the job is on raising our boys. Okay, the raising of our boys is absolutely horrible. Okay, but when I see young boys in the ages of 13, 12, 13, already having a negative mentality towards women, this is problematic. They are going to grow into men who have issues with women. We can't have that. We'll never have harmony in our race if our boys already develop the mentality that is negative towards the opposite sex. I don't understand how this makes sense to anyone. We have elderly men, brothers. We have so-called fathers. And even now, it doesn't even matter if the father's in the home or not. So we can kill that noise about absentee fathers. I don't even make a difference anymore. Because the quality of the father now is bad. Even the ones that are in the homes trying to raise, doing what they can to raise their boys, they're not raising their boys. The quality of the father is piss poor. So there's an overall purge that has to happen. I'm not saying you got to get out in the street with shotguns and start shooting people. We have to somehow cut ourselves off from bad black men. We have to somehow give some kind of life to decent black men. We got to find the decent young black boys and somehow raise them into fine, young, upstanding men so that they can raise other young men. The crop of black men today that's leading our generation, they are an embarrassment. They are weak, they are embarrassment, they're weak, they're cowardly, they're effeminate, soft, they have no masculinity in them. They want to argue and fight with women all the time. Warriors don't argue and fight with women. We need warriors. There's a war going on, in case you noticed that or not. There's a war going on out here. We need warriors. We need young men who are fearless, young men who are brave, not young men who are running around here with multicolored skirts on, dressing like RuPaul, or like they just came from a fresh episode of The Birdcage. That's not what we're looking for. That's not going to be the kind of man that will be able to stand up against this beast. A time is coming to where it's going to get real bad for black folk. And we will have no choice but to fight back because our very lives and existence will depend on it. You can't fight back if you got an army full of sissy bims, sissy boys, guys who want to sit there and argue like girls. It's not going to work. You're going to get mowed down. And so I'm concerned with how these young boys are growing up. Like I said, now it doesn't even matter. We can argue absentee fathers to be blue in the face. That doesn't even matter anymore. Now the father, even the father in the home now, right? He's a bum. The ones who are in the homes are bums. Many of them are bums. And the boy is still turning out screwed up because the father is screwed up. We have to start paying attention to this before it's too late. We have a generation of boys who are crossing over into a different reality to where they see men attractive and they see women unattractive. This is not the natural order of things, but this is being taught. And you have a lot of elderly black men on social media and elsewhere who are teaching this kind of mentality to our young boys. And then the young girls are affected because they see the boys hate them, so they in turn hate the boys and don't want to be with the boys. They don't want to be with black boys. And so they may go look elsewhere. They may go swirl. This also hurts our race. See, both of these things are a huge detriment to our race. If the girls can't find any decent young black boys, they're going to look for other men from other places. And if the boys hate the girls, then they're not going to procreate with black girls, black women. This hurts our race. I don't understand how you see it any other way. These guys who get online talking about their dating coaches and trying to train these boys how to deal with girls, if you listen to the things that they talk about, all they do is teach these boys or these men how to do is be disrespectful. They teach them how to be disrespectful. They teach them how to be womanizers. They don't teach these boys how to be gentlemen. They don't teach these boys how to court women properly. They teach them to see women as slaves and that women should bow down to them and women should submit to them and all these other things, but they don't have what it takes for a woman to submit. I said before, submission is an act of masculinity. It's an act of manhood. If you don't have it, a woman is not submitting. A woman is not going to submit to another feminine energy. So if you are emanating feminine energy, she's not going to submit to that. You need that hardcore masculine energy. A lot of you brothers don't have that. You guys are crying all the time. You guys are upholding white supremacy. You on social media with your white supremacist talking points. You're attacking black women left and right. You're terrible fathers. You guys are epic failures as fathers. You got the nerve to cry about child support. I mean, you're not there for your children, and the ones of you who are there for your children, you're terrible at raising them. You have the nerve to cry about child support and things like that. So you have to understand something. The black woman is always going to be sought after. All races of men want black women, but not all races of women want black men. Because you see, there's things that you have to contend with that the black woman doesn't have to contend with. See, the black woman can go into another race of men and be welcome. See, you can't do that. You see, if you go over to another race of men, they're going to be jealous, they're going to be hateful towards you because they don't want you messing with the women. So now you're going to have to fight. You got a fight on your hands. And many of you can't fight, so we already know what the outcome's going to be, right? So, this epic failure. Many of you say that black women need to choose better, but how can she choose better when you haven't raised better? There should be plenty, I've said this before, there should be plenty of young, upstanding men in the community for a black woman to choose from. She shouldn't have to go halfway around the world. She shouldn't have to call an Uber cab and go to different counties to try to find a decent young man. There should be plenty right outside her door. She should be able to walk up and down her neighborhood and have her pick of plenty of decent young black men or decent black men. That's supposed to be normal for her. There's supposed to be decent black men saturating her community. It would be if we had fathers doing what the hell they're supposed to do when it comes down to raising their young boys. If we had black fathers raising productive young men of integrity, there would be an abundance of decent men for the black woman to choose from. Okay? And shout out to Belmore. Yeah, and Coon is not a better choice. Saturating the neighborhood with coons, that's not a better choice. That's a bad choice as well. So I'm a little confused as to what it is that you mean when you say she needs to choose better. Choose better where? From what community does she needs to choose better? Because she shouldn't have to go to anyone else's community. She shouldn't have to go to anyone else's area to find a decent black man. And there should be plenty of decent young boys for our black daughters. See, back in the day, the black men didn't say, well, damn, they need to choose better. What they did was they understood the nature of young boys and men. So they made sure that they raised their sons with the proper mentality so that there would be decent young men for the women to choose from. I mean, if you had daughters back then, you wanted to make sure that there were good men in the neighborhood. And they also used to chase the bad guys out of the neighborhood so that these guys wouldn't be in the neighborhood for black women to run into. You guys aren't doing it. You guys don't care about who's in the community. You got white boys coming in, having sex with all kinds of black women. What are white boys doing in your community? How do you let white boys come in your community and commandeer your women? How do you let that happen? That's treacherous. And then here's another thing too. When you got young boys who look like Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's obviously sexually screwed up, right? Screwed up in the head. You see, guys like that are plants. They're put there to confuse the younger generation. They get paid to do stuff like that, to confuse the younger generation. I know a lot of you don't understand where I'm coming from, but those people are purposely put in these positions to affect younger generations. Excuse me 1 second. You guys might hear a little bit of noise, but bear with me. They're put there to confuse younger generations. That's why they look all crazy. You got all the colors in their hair, looking androgynous. That's on purpose. They want to confuse the younger generation. They see, back in my day, men wouldn't allow that in their neighborhood. They wouldn't allow their boys to watch or support someone like that. See, now you don't care what your boys are watching. You don't care what your boys are supporting. You don't care. You don't care what's affecting their mind. See, that's why you're such an epic failure as a father. You're not interested in the shaping of the mind of your young boys. You don't care what enters their head. That's why you're such an epic failure as a father, a black father. See, the raising of your young boys entails a lot of things. What he sees, what he hears, what he understands and what he don't understand. What he reads, what he sees on TV, what he sees from other people in the street. He processes all this information. You are supposed to be there to make sure the information is used properly. And the bad information is pushed out. See, if you were real fathers, we wouldn't have such an epidemic of young, effeminate black males who have developed a mentality that is extremely negative towards black women or the opposite sex. You've allowed them to get their psychological wires crossed. And now, as young men, they are appealing to each other for comfort, intimacy. Whereas they're supposed to be getting this from the opposite sex. See, you've allowed that to happen. This is why you're such an epic failure as a father, a black father. And no, you can't blame it on black women, you know, although you're trying. I hear you out there trying to blame this on black women, talking about, oh, it's a single baby mama thing, so it's the black woman's fault that the boys are being raised. Okay, no, it's your fault. See, the single baby mama thing is your fault too. So you can't sit up here and talk shit talking about something. Oh, you're a single baby mama. But you made that single baby mama. Shouldn't you be talking to yourself? Shouldn't you be doing podcasts about yourself? Shouldn't you be upset with yourself? I hear things like 4 out of 5 black women are overweight. How about 5 out of 5 black men have multiple baby mamas? When is somebody going to say, I heard somebody say, well, you heard it like I heard it. 4 out of 5 black women are overweight. When is somebody going to say, well, you heard it like I heard it. 5 out of 5 black men have multiple baby mamas. 5 out of 5 black men have multiple children by multiple baby mamas. You heard it. You heard it like I heard it. When are we going to start saying that? Hell, let's bump it up a couple of notches. You heard it like I heard it. 8 of black men have multiple children by multiple baby mamas. You heard it like I heard it. Hell, let's bump it up a couple more notches. Fuck it. 10 out of 10 black men have multiple children by multiple baby mamas. C.T. Washington, right, comes in here with this bullshit because he doesn't want to see the truth about what's going on. This is not a gender war, son. This is about the failure of us black men. The failure that we are to our race. The failure to properly raise our children. See, the title says the epic failure of black fathers. It doesn't say the epic gender war. See? So don't come in here with this bullshit trying to stir the pot because you feel some kind of way. Because if I'm not mistaken, you were the one in here talking about they were good drug dealers, right? And good pimps. I guess to you there is such a thing. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. So you got these little cute sayings about black women. 4 out of 5 are overweight and all this other crap. But what about black men? Same thing we talked about being out of wedlock, right? When they talked about 80% of black women having babies out of wedlock, well, it must be 95% of black men having babies out of wedlock, because those women who are having babies out of wedlock, well, they have to have them with black men. Hey, T. Washington, check this out, right? I don't do the fighting on the internet, okay? I'm not an internet tough guy. I'm a tough guy in real life. So here's what I'm gonna do to you, okay? I'm gonna take your wrench, okay? That's one, okay? Because I don't do the internet shit. That's coward shit, okay? Now, that's your first strike. The next strike, yeah, I'm from Jersey too. I was born and raised on Dwight Street between Ocean and Garfield, my nigga. So I don't do all of this tough Tony talk on the internet. See, because we behind keyboards, I can't put my hands on you. I don't get down like that. So what I'm gonna do is I don't tolerate like this type of shit in my chat either. If you can't handle what's being said and you can't deal with that intellectually, then you don't need to be in here, because I'm not going to go back and forth with you like some internet punk. What I'm going to do is, if you continue that course of action, I will just remove you. And you can go cry somewhere else. I'm just telling you straight. Okay? Nobody put words in your mouth. You typed in yourself. You said, "Quit crying, pussy. Let me speak for myself." Okay? Now, I just warned you. You don't have a wrench. And the people in here, we don't take kindly to this type of behavior in here. Yes, I know, Moody. Anyway, so getting back to what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, so like I was saying, you went to PS15, Melody? I did too. Whitney M. Young Jr. Hey, when I went, right, everybody had paddles. Oh, that's your father? All right. See, when I went to 15, everybody had paddles and shit. All the teachers had paddles. Mr. Smith was the was the principal. Mr. and Miss Smith, she was the vice principal. Back then, they can light your ass up. All right, melanated vessel. Yeah. All right. So anyway, before we was interrupted, only a hit dog holler, right? Anyway, okay. So as black men, we have failed to raise our boys. Our boys are running around here with no guidance. Even now, like I said, it's not even about the absentee father thing anymore. Okay? Because you got motherfuckers in the home now who are just straight bums. So it don't even matter. Just straight bums. Yeah, so not only a hit dog holler, like I said, it's the same motherfucker in here talking about there's good pimps and good drug dealers and shit. But anyway, um, um, and so when you have a generation of young boys coming up, again, like I said, that are negative against black women, this hurts our race. This is going to affect the younger black women in a negative way because they are going to look elsewhere for comfort. If they don't have any protection from their own men and their own men hate them, well, they want to be loved too. They want happiness too. So they're going to go pursue that love and happiness elsewhere. And it's quite possible it's going to be with non-black men. And we can't blame anybody for ourselves. All I do is cry about alpha males because I am not one. No, I'm not an alpha male. An alpha male is a homosexual. See, that's what alpha male means. You got to go back to the Greeks, right? The alpha male is a dominant male in a homosexual relationship. He is the top. And the feminine one is the bottom. So that's where you get top and the bottom boy, right? So no, you're right. I'm not an alpha male. An alpha male is a homosexual. It's okay if you're an alpha male, T. Washington. If you want to be a homo, that's your problem. Anyway, yeah, I know, right? He's in here to cause distraction, because he is a hit dog that's crying and hollering because he's probably weak. Again, this is the same brother that said that there are good pimps and good drug dealers and shit like that. Okay. And so I knew this would strike a chord with some brothers because the ones who are guilty of what I'm saying are going to come in here and try to throw down and attack me and all that stuff. But again, I don't do the tough Tony thing. This is the internet. If I can't put my hands on you, I'm not going to argue back and forth with you. I'm just going to get rid of you. Okay? So, yes, Bell. The alpha male was the top guy. The alpha male is a dominant male in a homosexual relationship. We'll have a Greek show one day where we'll talk about all of this. I guarantee you, after we break all that down, we'll see how many niggas walking around calling themselves alpha males after that. But you're right, I'm not an alpha male. I don't want to be referred to as a goddamn alpha male. But anyway, yeah, and so the fathers, hold on one second, let me see if Dame, are you hold on, Dame, let me put the link in the Discord. right? And so we fail, okay, as fathers. We failed. Our boys are psychologically, they have their wires crossed. And like I said before, if we're going to say 4 out of black women are doing anything, then we have to talk about the 5 out of 5 black men who aren't raising children. And going back to what I said before, I can't iterate this enough. It doesn't even matter anymore if the father's not in the home, because now the ones who are in the home, they bums too. Bums too. Many of them are bums. As a matter of fact, some of them are so bad, it'd be better off if you just stayed away from the job. Okay? And so, and when you have men who don't know how to raise their boys, who don't want to raise their boys, and then they're teaching these boys, on the other hand, to hate women because they've had bad relationships with women, or they got broken hearts that they can't get over, or something like that, they're destroying another generation. See, that's what you call ultimate selfishness. Well, you don't give a fuck about the other generation that's coming up behind you. All you give a fuck about is your own little punk ass feelings that you have against women. And so you want to train the next generation of males to be just as fucked up as you. Now, that's what you would call bitch shit. Okay? That's what you call bitch shit. And guys like T. Washington don't like that because he fits that category. Exactly, melanated vessel. A long time no see. I haven't seen you in a while. You're right. Every time we want to get down to the nitty gritty, right? These guys want to say, "Oh, you're forgetting." If you notice that all they do is pass the buck, right? They want to blame everybody else. Now, T. Washington, if you want to come up here and deal with that, I'll put the link in the chat. But I warned you, come up here on some bullshit, I'm gonna roll you up out of here. So I don't want nobody to say that I never gave anybody a chance to come up here and defend themselves. I'm more than willing to have that conversation, but it has to be a conversation. I'm not going to get into the tough Tony thing with you. I'm not going to get into the little childlike back and forth name calling. If that's what it's about, then you may as well stay where you are, because I'm gonna throw you out anyway. But if you want to have a discussion like grown folks, we can do that. No, I'm still here. I'm still here, melanated vessel. Did you subscribe to this channel? Just make sure you subscribe to the channel. If anybody having a problem with getting the links, unsubscribe and resubscribe, and then hit the bell again. Hit the bell that says all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Emmanuel Briggs. So the link is in the chat. Any of you 60 bands want to come up here and try to bring some smoke, come on with it. As long as the smoke is legitimate, I don't have no problem with it. But like I was saying, right? So when you have a generation of boys being raised the way they're being raised, Okay, this puts our race at a loss. I don't see how you sit up here and continue to make excuses for poor leadership. You don't want to address the poor leadership. You don't want to address the terrible job as fathers. You don't want to address that. No. And too many of these guys are emotional, man. They want to argue and fight like girls. They want to call names. See, I'm too grown for that, man. I'm an old school dog. I don't have time for all of that. Again, if I can't put my hands on you, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you like some little girl. All right? I'm too grown for that. These guys are very, very emotional. And that's another thing that's bad. It's just what I'm talking about. The fathers are an epic fail. Shouldn't be, I mean, a man shouldn't be that emotional. Should be that emotional. Ah, it's like Mr. T. Washington decided to join us. Now, you're on live.
Hold on, give me a minute. Hold up.
All right, so anyway, while he's getting himself ready, getting back to what I was saying, right? We have to address this issue in our community. Like I said, there should be plenty of decent men, plenty of decent young boys for black girls to choose from and from black women to choose from. When you don't have that, then that's a failure on behalf of the black fathers. The black fathers are supposed to be raising decent young men. Supposed to be raising decent young men for your daughters to court. If you're not doing that, then you are hurting the rest of us. Now we sit up here and we say all these negative things about black women. But when it comes down to the black men, we're supposed to grow silent. We're supposed to keep our mouths shut. I'm still waiting for somebody to explain to me how can 80% of black women have babies out of wedlock, but the black men can't. I'm still waiting for somebody to explain that. All right, let me see if Discord is up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
All right. Now, my initial comment in the chat was referring to a gender war. And what made me ask that question had nothing to do with no pimps or no other shit like that. The initial question.
What are you talking about,
Wait
bro?
a minute, hold on. Whoa, come on, slow down, man. What the initial.
You call me a pussy in my chat. You gonna come up here and tell me to slow down?
Oh, I come on here to talk and you gonna cut me off? Come on, let me talk. That was in response to you putting words in my mouth talking about I said it's good pimp and all that crazy shit. You took it left. Like you ain't even have to go there with all that. If the question that I asked was unrelated and somewhat out of context, I wouldn't have had no problem with you correcting me. But to automatically say some shit like I said it's good pimps and it's good drug dealers, I never said no crazy shit like that.
What you said was you got good advice from them, right? So what do you think that's alluding to?
Now let me put that in context. Now, You said you grew up in the hood. Am I correct?
Yeah, I grew up on the West Street.
All right. So whenever you get good advice from OGs, sometimes it's people who've done good things, bad things, whatever. But even if they're in the wrong, good advice is good advice. And I'm not justifying anything that anybody do in the community that's negative. But my point was, good advice is good advice, whether they're right or wrong. That's all I was saying. There's no way I was trying to justify or say that pimping or drug dealing and all that shit was a good thing. That was kind of related to people who I know who used to live the life who no longer live that life. So my point was, I'm not into just throwing motherfuckers away simply because they've made bad decisions. People can change. And that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying that those were good characteristics or good things that's happening in our community. In context, I was talking about how I've gotten good advice. People who was doing it who told me this is not for you. We need you to do better. That's all I was saying about that.
All right. Here's the problem, though. That's not what you said, brother.
Okay, you tell me what I said, because that's exactly what I said.
What you said was, you see, you didn't break it down like that. See, if you would have broke it down like that, then there wouldn't have been no smoke. See, if you would have said, you know what, I got advice from X pimps who reformed their life, pimps who stepped away from the game and realized what they were doing was bad, or drug dealers who once sold drugs and no longer sell drugs, and they're doing it right. You wouldn't have had the smoke.
That's pretty much what I said. That's what I said. I said that. Hold on, wait a minute. I said the pimp is now a pastor.
I just got
You keep telling me what I said though.
Yeah, I'm telling you
words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm telling you what came out of your mouth.
This fucking guy, yo. All right, go ahead.
You said when I was talking about drug dealing in the community, when I was talking about the community, you said that you got good advice from them. You got good advice from drug dealers. You never said that they was reformed.
Now, you gonna allow me to speak for myself?
I just got finished letting you speak.
Hold on, let me speak for myself, because now let's not play that narrative bullshit. Let me speak for myself. Now, just because someone's doing the wrong thing now doesn't mean that they cannot get good advice. My point was, while they were doing the wrong thing, they gave me advice. Today, they are no longer doing those things. But during that time when they were doing wrong, they did give me advice that this is not for you. I want to see better for you. You change this shit. That's the only point I was trying to make. I didn't say anything about what they were doing was a good thing.
I'm messing with because he's got his actually coming with him. He's got something going on in the background.
There's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, you got something going on in the background.
I think it's probably a short this wire too.
We can hear it echo.
You hear me clear though, right?
We can hear it echo. There's an echo. There's an echo.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, now look. Here's the problem, T. We don't have a problem with you coming up here with your difference of opinion. But what we don't do in this room, we don't do no tough punk shit. I can't put my hands on you. You can't put your hands on me. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you like a big girl and call your name. We don't do that in here.
Okay, now let me respond to that. Part of the reason why I came at you like that because I was offended by you saying that there was good pimps or saying something like I kind of saying that I say drug dealing or pimping is good or some shit. Like, I'm not justifying nothing like that. No, I don't want nobody putting those words in my mouth because that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. I'm not for no shit like that.
Well, you didn't leave us in choice anything else to express it. Now, again, had you would have came out with the well, I got some advice from some decent dealers. They don't do it no more. Whatever. That's different. But we in here. We got people in here right now that was in here when we spoke, and they didn't get that encouragement from you either.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't catch the context or understand what I was saying, but that's what I said. I remember what I said.
So now, all right. You are a then come up here and defend yourself like a man, bro. Don't call me. Don't call me. Go for that.
Wait, what's that? Come again?
If you are offended or you feel disrespected, then come up here, right, and present yourself as the man and say you were disrespected. I respect that more than you act like a little girl in my chat.
Acting like a little girl.
Yeah, you see, when you start doing
wait. When you put words in my mouth, when you put words in my mouth and misrepresent what I say to people who don't know me, including yourself, yes, I'm gonna get offended by that shit. Let me speak for myself.
I will give you the floor to come up here and you deal with it like you're not no girl, my nigga.
No, I am a man. And I am dealing with it.
If you stop it, they come up here and handle that in a way. I ain't got no problem with you stepping with you like a man.
Look, my only point about that, okay, let's say I heard you say something and I wasn't, and it might come across a way or I wasn't clear. I would at least give you the chance to clarify it for me. Like, I wouldn't assume. Hold on. I wouldn't assume you would say some crazy shit like pimping and drug dealing is okay or however you put it. I wouldn't assume no shit about you like that. Even though we don't know each other or whatever like that, just off the fact that you're a black man and you're an older black man, if you said some shit that sounded like that, I would give you the benefit of the doubt, at least to assume that that's not how you think. That's all I was saying about that. Now, I apologize for my response because I didn't like the fact that that was said and I couldn't speak for myself, and I didn't know if I was going to get a chance to speak for myself. So in that sense, I do apologize. But I would never assume no crazy shit coming out of a black man's mouth, especially an older black man, somebody who's above 40, who would justify something as stupid and ignorant as drug dealing and pimping and things like that. Oh, this shit.
Yeah, my point exactly. I don't justify pimping.
And I don't need it. And I never
your presentation led us to believe otherwise.
What's that?
Your presentation led us to believe otherwise. The way you presented it, you condone what they were doing.
Again, like
you know what? Have to go back and play that thing like you did yourself.
Yo, play it back, because I know what I said. Play it back. I don't even know.
It's gonna take some time to find it. But we do have it on tape.
And I'm glad you do, because I'm intelligent enough and I have enough character, and I love my community enough to never say nothing so stupid and irresponsible as something like that. I know I ain't saying no shit like that.
Said it in a stupid or irresponsible way. But the way you said it, right? If you was giving them an excuse the way you were. That's the way you present. You didn't intelligent way. I mean, a stupid way or unintelligent. It was like you was making an excuse for it. Because after you said, because you also added in this, right? talked about the politicians. Talked about everything else other than the actions that was being carried out because that was in the community.
Oh, well, let me
See, that's the
respond
way
to
you
that.
present it.
Okay, let me respond to that. When you and the other ladies in the room, especially there was this one sister who kind of said this, she put emphasis on this. The point that I was trying to make is yes, that it's fucked up shit in the community. There's people with fucked up character. There's selfish people in the community. But the point I was trying to make is not to broad brush those in the community as if they're the root of all the problems. I said we got to look at everything. But to continue to just point at those brothers and not look at outside influences is unfair. Because essentially these people... What's that?
I can't. What's going on right now? Is that you have brothers right now doing damage to the black community. And that's all these single baby mamas, you think they're being made by? Ain't no politician doing it.
Irresponsible people who are doing it. But everybody in the community... Go ahead.
And what are you going to say about the judge? We got young boys growing up hating. You cool with that? I'm not.
Young boys hating black women. What do you mean? Like, what that's
got young boys now who have the mentality towards black women, a mentality of hate. They don't even want to procreate with black women.
Well, that sounds like a mental illness as far as I'm concerned. That's some old other shit. And I can't necessarily relate to.
We're teaching it to them.
Who are these guys teaching it? I mean, I know that we got some of these old SYS corny ass niggas who be blaming black women for, like, I hear dumb shit coming from those.
Matter of fact, then you run it down. You got red pills, you got blue pills, you got the man, you got the pot distributed. All of them are playing a part in shaping the mentality of our young brothers and sisters today. We got brothers on here right now who do nothing but make negative videos about black women and teach young boys to hate black women.
Yeah, I see some of that on here.
There's a lot of it on here, brother.
Like I said, I see some of that on here.
We need to look a little harder. There's a lot of it on here.
Like, man, are you trying to make us...
When you come out of your shadow, when you come out of your man, ready to defend guys, right?
Now, see, here you go. Here you go, running off at your mouth on some crazy shit. It's the way we can do.
When you come flying out, wait a minute. What are you in? When you come flying out of nowhere talking about it ain't all that.
Okay, all right. Wait. Let's slow this down because I know that, like, I know you got your fans, like, it's cool, but let's slow it down and talk man to man and attempt to do this without putting words in each other's mouth. I'm down to do that. Now,
I'm with it.
Okay. I haven't defended, and to this day, never defended anybody disrespecting or talking crazy about black women. Now, I may hold position on certain situations, but you can never show me or at any time where I justified anybody disrespecting black women, because that would be me condoning the disrespect of my own mother and aunts and nieces and women in my family, women who I'm friends with. I don't condone no shit like that.
Yeah, I know. Hey, fix the sound back there. Background noise. See if we got a speaker on. It's pretty bad.
All right, I'm gonna try something a little different. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Shout out to Make It Plain, brother Alfonso McGriff. Good brother. Mr. McGriff, we can use some of your wisdom. Let me put the link in the chat. See, we have to address this. We can't keep turning a blind eye to the terrible job that we're doing as fathers. Our children are our responsibility. I grew up in a time where the children were the responsibility of all men, all fathers in the community. We truly had a village mentality back then in the late 60s and early 70s. Men routinely raised kids that wasn't theirs. It wasn't the issue because all the fathers saw all of the kids in the neighborhood as their children. We don't have that today. We just can't keep sitting up here blaming other people. Every time we turn around, we want to blame somebody else. Well, you know, the politics, the policies. Are you there, brother? Did you get your sound fixed? He's still on mute. Okay. But like I was saying, okay, we have a failure of black fathers. Exactly, Hassan Burton. That's the way it was back in the late 60s and early 70s. Even the older brothers looked after the younger children in the community. It was a true village mentality back then. I always said I love the 70s. I wish we could go back to the 70s. Black people were of high quality back in the 70s. They cared about each other. They cared about the children. You don't have that now. You have a few people here and there who care, but the majority of them don't. And we can't continue to make excuses for things that we should be doing for ourselves. Nothing is stopping you from being a decent father to your child. Nothing is stopping you from teaching your young boys the proper way to deal with life. No one is stopping you from doing that. There's no politician stopping you from doing that. There's no policy stopping you from doing that. You are stopping yourself from doing that. And then you keep complaining about a problem that you continue to create. As a black man, you keep complaining about single baby motherhood. Well, you keep creating these single baby mamas. They don't get made by themselves. A black woman doesn't just wake up in the morning and say, and snaps her fingers and say, boom, I'm gonna be a single baby mama, and then boom, her stomach grows. Baby pops out. Don't work that way. You got your sound better, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's much better.
Yeah, I actually took the wire off of the radio, so I'm holding the phone. All right, so it's not me putting the blame on outside situations once again. What I'm saying
But you
is...
did say that, brother.
Wait, come again?
You did say that.
See, here you go. All right. Let me clarify, because apparently you heard it wrong. Now, let me speak for myself. Again, and I can't wait till you find that recording because I remember what I said. Now, again, the point I was making, especially when the sister came on last time, it pretty much insinuated that every single problem in the community is due to people who live in the community. And the point I was trying to make is not only are they perpetuating negativity and bringing problems on themselves, but there are outside forces. There's an overall situation that needs to be dealt with, culturally inside and outside of the community. You can't just look at one and ignore the other. That's the only point I was making, because if this is strictly the characteristics of the people in the community, in a sense, you're saying that's what black people do simply because we're black people. So that's why, if anything, you should try to like clarify or something, because I'm not really getting where you're coming from. It sounds like all the blame is on the people just in the community, when it's just many in the community who are very good people, who work hard as hell, who are good parents, a lot of good fathers still in the community, who are doing the best they can, who are good fathers, teaching them right, getting involved in sports and school and all of that. That's the only point that I was making.
No one is talking about the good fathers. We're talking about the fathers who are an epic failure. If that was the case, right, if we had enough fathers in the community like that, then why do we have so many young boys, right, looking up to Tekashi 6ix9ine? Why do we have so many boys trying to pattern themselves after Future, who's walking around in the dress? Why do we have so many boys talking about they are gender neutral and want to be known as non-binary? See, that's a failure of fatherhood right there. That's improper teaching.
Okay.
I want you to listen to this comment
now,
from Remy Norris. Hold on, I got a comment I want you to hear from Remy Norris, and tell me what you think about this. She said, apparently women have to police their vagina in the man's penis in this community. That puts the responsibility on women 100%. Why do you think she feels that way?
Damn, my phone is breaking up. I think it's probably, I don't know if it's a bad connection on my end, but it's real choppy and there's a lot of static.
Yeah, that's on your end. Everybody, am I coming in clear? Type of one if I'm coming in clear.
Yeah, it's probably on my end.
Give me a one, y'all, if I'm coming in clear.
All right, I hear you clear right now. Now, you was talking about all that, the gender shit and all of that. I get where you're coming from. Now, when it comes to all of that bullshit, which I agree that that's a problem, what would you say are some of the roots for that problem? So I can see if we're on the same page.
I'm gonna tell you what it is exactly. It's bad leadership. It's bad leadership and it's poor parenting. That's what it is. It's piss poor parenting and terrible leadership. You've allowed as a leader,
Okay.
as leaders, we've allowed the environment that our women nest in to become completely corrupted.
Now, I can't argue with that. I definitely agree with that. I definitely can't argue with that.
Now, I can't go outside.
Even though I don't think it's that cut and dry, I agree with you.
But listen, I can't go outside my door and see little JoJo and them making babies and not taking care of them and dealing drugs in the middle of the street and then turn around and blame a politician. I don't see any politicians outside my door. What I see is little JoJo and them in my community fucking it up. That's what I see. That's what I need to deal with, because that's what's doing immediate damage. I need to deal with that before I deal with anything else, because that's affecting us.
What do you suggest should be done? What do you suggest should be done? What's the first thing? Go.
What I suggest that should be done is that the brothers, the men in the community need to get together and go after these other brothers in the community and get as many as we can on one accord, and we need to step to these niggas in the community who are doing all this fucked up shit, and it's either going to be a throwdown to get this shit over with, or we gonna burn everything.
All right, so you mean like the brothers, like in New Era Detroit and New Era Chicago, brothers like that?
I'm not aware of those brothers.
Well, these are brothers who actually do that. I mean, of course, the numbers need to grow. When you get a chance, look them up. I think it's New Era Detroit, and I think they have a Chicago one. And of course, those brothers alone won't be able to like fix all of the problems. But everything you just mentioned, there are brothers out there trying to do that. They don't always get the recognition, or they're not always spoken about or heard about, but there are brothers doing that. We need more, but brothers are, they do exist.
I've never heard of these brothers, man.
When you get a chance, they may have some YouTube videos with them on it. New Era Detroit, New Era Chicago. Now, as far as the new Black Panther Party, I'm not clear on their reach. You know, I'm aware of who some of the members are, but I'm not clear on their reach necessarily. Of course, they're not at the level of the Black Panthers in the 60s and 70s. I would say the 70s. But, you know, go ahead.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, I was saying, like, outside of the New Era brothers, the Black Panthers, because we know what their history is, I don't want to assume what they're doing. I mean, I want to assume that the energy is still there, but I just don't know what kind of reach they have today. And you know, it's really hard to say.
Yeah, you see, my problem with all of that is I don't know who these brothers are. They should be well known if they're doing something like this. Why don't we know about them? And I'm be looking for nigga. I haven't heard anything of these brothers.
Well, check them out. You'll see.
Yeah, but we can't listen. We can't. Okay, so if you got brothers over there in Chicago doing that, that's a great thing. But we need more than that. There are more than just the communities in Chicago that are affected by what's going on with
I
our
said those are examples. I was just saying that those are examples of brothers doing it. And just like those two examples, I'm sure that in other communities outside of those, there are brothers doing that, but they're just not heard about. Even in my area, in Plainfield, and certain other places, even though we have our issues in the community, there are brothers that are working with people in City Hall. There's certain black cops. You know, there are people. I mean, we need more, and maybe they need more resources, but there are brothers doing shit.
Wait a minute, you watched it. Okay, it's the New Era brothers from Detroit. Oh, I heard about those, but he said Chicago. That's what threw me off. Oh yeah, I know about
I know Detroit. Definitely Detroit, but I thought they had a Chicago one too.
Oh, okay, see, that's what threw me off. Okay, but I know about them brothers in Detroit. Yeah, I know about them. Yeah,
it's just somehow the community, I guess, around America, the black community, us who give a damn, I guess we gotta find some kind of way to help them extend that movement and even support them a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that there's brothers in other communities that we probably don't hear about, but that's just one group that sticks out that I could think about right now. I mean, I got love for the Nation of Islam. There's people who have other thoughts about them. Some people view them in a negative light, but and I'm not saying that they're perfect, But I think there are brothers within the nation who are doing a lot of good work. Maybe the nation as a whole, uh, there's some questionable things according to some people, but I will also give them props, where props is due.
All right, I understand that, but you see, my whole issue with this, I commend them brothers for doing their thing, and if I can help them, I will. As regular black men who aren't in organizations, right, who are in these communities every day, we need to develop a certain type of cohesiveness. Because all of these brothers that you talk about, they're not in all of these communities, but black men are in these communities. So we just can't rely on what these brothers are doing from afar. We have to develop the proper mentality in our community.
No,
And
I agree with that. I agree with that. Actually, to tell you the truth, and you sound like the type that I'm describing, like me as a man individually. That's how I live. That's how I walk. They're like the young boys in the community, even though some of them are not at their best, some of them are homeless, some of them out there doing the wrong thing. Even though I don't have the resources and the reach, they do see me as a resource for them. I'm available to holler at them. If it's something that I can do, I do it when I'm not at work or dealing with my own kids. Like, I show them love regardless. And they know that I don't condone some of the bullshit that I see. But it's only so far I can go as far as what to tell them to do when I don't have the resources or the reach to replace something. Even the help around me. And there's other brothers that I know who are on it like that. But I kind of walk the walk with the little bit that I can do as an individual. Along with some other brothers that I know who outside of their families, we kind of walk the walk. Like, that's kind of how we are. Like, we love the community and we do the best we can. We get involved when we can. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we're not part of any organizations or groups or anything like that. Or maybe just not haven't had the time to put something together like that. Due to family, work schedule, or lack of resources, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe we don't have enough like-minded brothers.
Well, we have to create them, and then we have to also get out of a victim mentality, man. And what I mean by that is, we got to stop talking from a weak position. We got to get stronger. We got to get bolder in our position. We got to go out here and take what belongs to us. We got to be bold about it. We can't be sitting up here as grown men talking about we're trying, we're doing the best we can. That sounds weak. We got to be bolder, man. We got to be out here. Look, this is going to change. We're going to do this. You're going to get out of our community with this BS. If not, we're going to put you out. We got to start speaking from a bolder and a stronger position. All this we're
I agree with that.
Wait a minute. All of this we're trying. We're doing the best we can. No disrespect. That's coming from a place of weakness.
All right, well, okay. So, all right, now, based on what you're saying, it sounds like you have a group of brothers in the numbers to do so. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, not necessarily a group of brothers, because it's kind of hard to find brothers with a hard-nosed mentality.
And that's kind of the point I was making, because even though I feel that way.
You see, I grew up at a time where iron sharpens iron.
And we still have those men around, believe it or not. Man. Those types are around. They haven't all died off in the 60s and 70s. Those dudes still exist.
See, when a black woman, right now, our black woman is in trouble. I don't know if you noticed that or not. She's being attacked from all positions by everybody, even black men. As a matter of fact, black men are attacking her the most. And so if she can't rely on us, who's just going to rely on? If we're negotiating from a weak position, then how is she going to trust us or submit to us or follow us if we're negotiating from a weak position? We got to get up on our feet like men, like warriors, and take what's ours. Fuck all this. We're doing the best we can. We're trying. Fuck that. We need to start kicking ass and taking names.
See, that's something I can't relate to because me and the men I grew up with and the dudes that I fuck with, you can't put your hands on those sisters around us. We don't move like that. You will get your ass whooped. Like, that's why, like, I understand what you're saying, but that shit don't happen around me and my people.
Yeah,
I do understand where you're coming from.
I didn't say put your hands on sisters. What I said was, as black men, we have to stop negotiating and speaking from a weak position. When you say we're doing the best we can, when you're saying that we're trying, that's the way women.
I said there are brothers who are doing the best.
That's a woman's position. That's not a man's position. A man's position is one. A man's position is one of forward movement and destruction and clearing paths. You either in our way, or if you're in our way, we're going through you, we're running you over. We're not negotiating. We're not going to tell you we're here to do the best we can. We're here to tell you that you need to get
so you've done this already.
We're here to tell you.
So you're basically saying you've done this?
Here, or we're going to remove you.
All right. So while I agree with that, have you done this? Is my point.
Yes, on a small scale, yes. But it needs
That's
more.
pretty much what I'm saying. I'm not talking no weak negotiation shit. Like you do what you just described is doing the best you can. There's no you don't have the power and the reach to do like a mass thing where you could just thwart all the violence and get the fucking all out the way. Like, it takes a lot of resources and manpower to do some shit like that. And you just said that you did it in your small way. That's doing the best you can.
Look, man, we're not talking about impossibilities. We're talking about what we can control at this point. You got to have numbers to grow, right? You have to start somewhere, right? So you start small and then you accumulate the numbers to get bigger. Right now, we can't thwart every bad deed. We don't have the manpower for that.
That's my point.
Okay, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about doing what you're supposed to do right now. And that's sitting down talking about something. You know, we're doing the best we can. That's a woman's position. A man is supposed to go out there and till the ground, kick ass and take names. We don't make excuses. We warriors.
Okay.
We tear shit up.
Almost every man who cares about the community feels the exact same way you just said. And men are doing these things like you're talking as if you and only the people you know who are like men, people do that. And because I say someone's doing the best they can. Like,
let me tell you how doing the best we can have affected our black women. You can poll the black women in this channel alone, okay? All right? And we're just going to do it here because it's small. We don't want to go to the big channels like these channels because you might get your heart broken, okay? We'll just do it right here in the small channel. You poll these women in here and you ask them, do they see black men doing the best they can in their communities? And watch what they say. Go on and ask them. They're all sitting right in here.
So really bad connection. Really bad connection. Before getting chopped up.
Why you have a bad connection now? This is what I'm talking about, people. And I'm not saying he's doing this on purpose, but this is what I'm talking about. The mentality, this victim mentality. We don't have that brutish, brawlic mentality that we're supposed to have. See, other races of men have that brawlic, brutish mentality. That's why they're building shit. They run over motherfuckers. That's what men are supposed to do. We're not supposed to sit down and cross their fucking legs talking about something. Well, we're doing the best we can. That's a woman's position. A man goes out and takes shit. And if you in the fucking way, we running you the fuck over.
Okay, so on your level with what you can control, you went out and you taking shit. Am I correct?
Damn right. You go out and you did. Who gonna give you something, brother? How has that worked out? How has that worked out? Tell me who's giving us something as black people. I'll wait.
Doing your best that you can with. And I'm assuming if you had the manpower, I believe you would run over shit and do this. And so many other black men would do the same shit. But a lot of men are not in a position to do something like that. It's going to take some time to increase that kind of mentality before that is made happen. In the meantime, you just got individuals and small groups who can only do the best they can.
Oh, then we need to organize those small groups and change the mentality. We're not going to get anywhere. I'm telling you right now, we're not getting anywhere, and we haven't gotten anywhere with the "we're doing the best we can" mentality. That hasn't gotten us anywhere.
But you're doing the best you can. So, like, I don't get how.
I'm doing what I can.
Okay, tomato. You doing what you can, and there are other brothers doing what they can.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do because the opportunity presents itself.
And would you agree that there's other brothers out there throughout the United States doing that? Maybe it's not enough, but they're out there.
Well, all you got to do is ask the women. The women will tell you if we're doing something or not. The women will tell you because they're the first ones who are affected by what we do.
So you're saying?
So did you hear about this poll that Cynthia G did?
Oh, Sin, I know about Sin. What was she saying?
Did you hear about the poll she did? She did a poll, right? Over 2,000 black women responded.
Oh, about the percentage of women who feel safe in that?
No, would you rather be under black rule or stay under white supremacy? 67% of the women said that they want to stay under white supremacy. If you got 67% of black women say they'd rather stay under white supremacy than to be under a black man's rule, what is that telling you? Did you hear me, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, can you say that again? Like summarize it, like that whole time you was breaking up and there was a lot of static. But go ahead. You was mentioning how Cynthia made a post about something. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cynthia G. And shout out to Cynthia G. She did a poll, and the premise was, black women, do you want to be under a black rule or would you rather stay under white supremacy? 67% of the black women said they'd rather stay under white supremacy. Why do you think that is? That tells you right there that we're not doing enough as black men. If you got 67% of our women that would rather stay under a white rule than to be under ours, then that's telling you what we're doing ain't worth a damn. See, that's what doing the best you can get you. 67% of your women would rather be under a white man's rule than yours. You know why? Because that white man ain't talking about the best he can. He out here taking shit. He out here running motherfuckers over. He out here tearing shit up, building shit. We sitting up here arguing about black women, Talking about we're doing the best we can. That's weakness. That's why she'd rather be under the white man's rule. Can y'all hear me? Type in one if y'all can hear me. Oh, my brother. Lade. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the panel. My African brother. Very, very talented brother, man. Screenwriter. What's going on, Lottie?
I'm very well. Hello, everybody.
Hey. So what's on your
How
mind,
is
man?
it
You been
going,
listening?
bro?
Yeah. I think he fell off there. T. Washington fell off.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he might come back here. He's probably driving his truck. I'll watch out for him. So you've been listening to the stream, Lottie?
Yeah, I was going in and out. I told you I'm on a I'm at a film location,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going off and on set at intervals.
Okay, you're on set right now?
Yeah. So I just
That's what's
stopped
up.
by to say, yeah, I just stopped by to check in because I've been missing out on the shows lately.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah. Again, everybody, this brother's talented. He's on the film set right now working as he's chiming in with us. So, Lottie, you got anything quick you want to say about the stream and what we was talking about? Anything, okay, there he is. He's back. Okay. All right, you
Uh,
watching? You back now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, T, I wanted
Yeah,
to.
I think it's the area I'm in that's
Yeah.
creating a bad connection.
Hey, man, this is my brother Lade. He's from Africa. He's a very talented screenwriter. Actually, he's chiming in from the movie set right now. And so he's on the panel with us.
Hello, Tiwash.
T, can you hear him? You still have a bad connection balance. So
You?
get on, Lottie. Tell me what's on your mind. What have you heard? Anything you want to chime in on?
Um, I just
Yo,
want
I'm gonna
to.
mute
I'm
my
just going
mic
to.
until I'll be right back with y'all. I'm gonna try to get out of this area. I'm in Kearney, and it's kind of crazy out here.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Lottie.
Yeah, so I'm just going to buttress on your point and the point you were making about the black woman being attacked from all angles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's about time for the black king to step back into the game and do as he's supposed to. That is to protect the women and the children. Hello?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's high time for men to stop trying to make women feel less of themselves or trying to judge women. This is not the time to judge women because you're already losing the battle, you are losing the war. And it's time for us to take position, fall back for fucking defense. You feel me, bro?
Yeah, my
Fall
point
back for
exactly.
defense. Fall back for defense. Defend your communities, defend your houses, defend your kids, your women.
Well, they would disagree with you, Lottie. They would say that the black woman doesn't deserve protection because she has a bad attitude.
Then I always ask people a particular question, people that give such responses. Will you defend your mother for a bad attitude, or are you trying to say your mother is holy?
Wow.
Are you trying to say your mother is holier than every other woman that you see out there? Because the only woman a black man will never disrespect is his mother. And I think it is high time every black man begins to see every woman out there, every black woman on the streets, in a place of work, in their religious buildings, I think they need to start seeing her as their mothers. Start treating them like you treat your mother, like you treat your daughter, your sister. Because
Ooh,
in the
got it.
actual sense, we are all one. We come from one source, and we are all distant relatives, whether you like it or not. You're my brother, Max.
That's right.
You feel?
That's right.
Every
Absolutely.
black woman is my sister. I may get married to one, but fuck it. We're not we're not direct blood relatives. So I can get married to her. So that shouldn't even be in the equation. But still, you should consider every black woman your mother, your sister, and your daughter.
Ooh, get him, Lottie. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all
Yeah.
hear that?
So
This is the original man talking. This is the original black man. You know, an African brother where we all come from, the continent, saying that we should treat all of our women the way we treat our mothers. The same respect you have for your mother, you should have for all black women. Go, Lottie.
right, bro. No, it's as simple as that. If you can protect your mother, if you can protect your sister and your daughter, then you should protect the next black woman, regardless of how. I know, right? A couple of women also make it hard, and a couple of women might not deserve, like the kind of women that give out their children to the social security or social workers, like the video we saw the other day. Hello. Like the video we saw the other day, there was this lady happy that she gave out her own children. Now those kind of women don't deserve to be protected. Instead, they deserve to be used as sacrifices. We need to give them out to the white supremacists and say, okay, you take them and deal with them as you want. We don't want them anymore in our community. But the ones who deserve to be saved, deserve to be protected and fought for, they deserve it because they are black. And they're not just black because of their skin, they are black at heart, black at mind.
Woo. Fire, fire in the place today. Fire. And and you see, this is what I like this, my brother, because now they hear another brother saying this. An African brother is saying
Right.
this. Now, people, you see, this ain't just Max who feel this way. Our distant brothers and sisters feel the same way. The way we are treating our women is deplorable. And it's not only seen here in America, they are watching us on the mother continent as well, on how we treat our women. And they are not in agreement with it. Just like I'm not in agreement with it, and the rest of us as black men shouldn't be in agreement with it. I feel what this brother is saying, and I stand with him when he says we should all treat our black women with the same respect we treat our mothers. There's static coming. You guys hear static? There shouldn't be any static.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You guys hear static coming in? Go ahead, Lottie.
Yeah. So the absence of a father figure in the community, the absence of a father figure in the community, according to Dr. Frances Cress, she says when the father figure is out of the community, it means the black king is on check. That is relatable to the chessboard. So when the black king is on check, the entire kingdom, that is the community, is on check. And when the community is on check, it's possible for every checkmate. Now, the checkmate is the family, the kids, they drift apart. The ones who venture into slothful lifestyles venture into it. The ones who venture into drugs venture into it. The ones who venture into crime venture into it at large. And this is something that keeps going on, generations to generations. And are we just going to fold our arms and let it happen to the next generation coming? Should we? No. So I think it's about time for every black man to buckle up and know his role in the society of the black community. So enough of all the women don't deserve this, women don't deserve this. Does your mother deserve it? If your mother deserves it, then fine, step out, defend the community. If she doesn't, fine, relax, chill back. And when your daughter is getting raped and all of that shit is happening to your daughter, don't complain. So the black king needs to protect himself, needs to protect the community. How does he do that? By re-educating himself, understanding that the woman is actually God. The ideology of women coming from men is it should remain in the Bible. It is not a black belief, it is not an African belief. It is not an African belief. Women didn't come from men. Instead, men came from women. You don't see men giving birth to women. You see women giving birth to men. Do you understand? Now, a woman carries you for 9 months. All you had to do as a man was to plant the seed. You didn't germinate. You didn't make the seed grow. You didn't even fertilize it yourself. It was an egg that made your seed. That made your seed. You made it. How do I put it now? It was an egg that made your seed actually valuable or fruitful. So men need to stop that shit about women are lesser, women are weaker, women don't deserve to be exalted. Fuck no, women deserve to be exalted beyond what we know. Now, when a woman is at peace with you in the house, everything goes smooth with you. When a woman is happy with you, everything goes smooth with you financially, mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's why she's there. She's supposed to give you some emotional backing. She's not supposed to be your slave. She's not supposed to take off your socks. She's not supposed to do your laundry. She'll do it willingly. And if she doesn't want to do it, fine. Do some shit yourself. Men need to stop acting lazy already. Men need to stop acting lazy. If you're not the type that can take care of a woman, don't go to women. Go and meet them gay guys. Chill with them. We don't need you messing up the whole situation, trying to make women feel all men are scum. We're tired of listening to that shit, and it's because of the scum men, the scumbags that call themselves men, who deserve to be wearing skirts, that do a lot of shit that make women think all men are scum. And when you talk to a woman with a good heart, she tells you, "Oh, you guys are the same." Because these scumbags come out dropping the best pickup lines ever that sweep these ladies off their feet. And what do they do in return? They stab the lady in the back and push her to, "Oh no, I don't need her anymore." That's after 2 kids. So you turn her to a baby mama, and she becomes a single mother. She begins to take care of 2 children all by herself. And all you have to do is do at most pay for child support, visit your children. Is that what they need? They need to see their mother and father living in harmony so they can grow up to feel love is not something you should run out to look for. Love is already within the society. They need to feel love in the community. It takes a man and a woman and the whole of the community to raise children, not just a woman. I'm going to yield the floor now, Max. I think I'm talking too much.
Brother, you ain't talking enough. I'm over here loving everything you're saying. I'm with
uh,
it. I don't even want to disturb that. I want to leave that the way it is. And I want everybody who just heard that, I want you to think about what this brother is saying. This is a brother from the continent, the mother continent. He's Nigerian born. Is that right now, Lade?
yeah, bro. I'm
Okay.
Nigerian.
This is my Nigerian brother. I want you to think about what this brother just said. Play this broadcast back, and I want you to listen to what this brother is saying. Okay, these are how the brothers, our bigger brothers and sisters from the mother continent, they have caught wind of what's going on over here, and they don't like what they see. You heard what the brother said. This, the way we are treating our women, this isn't African. Let me say that
No,
one more
that
time.
now that's the painful part, because a lot of things that happens there is being imitated here.
Hmm.
Do you understand? Hey, a lot of things that happen there is being imitated here. Now, the whole single mother lifestyle, the whole single parenting lifestyle, baby daddy lifestyle that has been trending over there for years now is beginning to happen here. And in few years ago, a movement in Nigeria, most especially, erupted, and they started calling themselves feminists. Like, what the fuck does an African feminist mean? In Africa, we serve and we worship goddesses. We have queens who lead empires. Chidera, let me close the door. We have queens who lead empires, and I told you before, Max, there used to be a time where European soldiers would fear African women more than they fear our men. They would rather have the African men capture them than have an African woman capture them, because they know in the hands of an African woman, they would experience a worse fate than death. But when they are being captured by a man, the highest punishment they get is being um, prisoners of war and being binded by some straw or some rope, and that's just it. At most, they just get beheaded. But the women do far worse just to protect the kingdom. Now, that's to tell you how far a woman can go to protect her own. Now, imagine a woman is trying to make you the man of the house. She's trying to be the pillar to your business. Do you know how far she'll go just to keep it intact? Do you know how far your woman will go just to make sure your empire doesn't fall?
Yeah, she'll go above and beyond. I'm where I'm at today, successful because my wife believed in me and helped me when I didn't have anything.
Right, right, right. And we need the women raising our country of now. We need the women raising our kids right. Why do we how are they going to raise them right? They need to be emotionally balanced. Now, it's not easy for a woman to be raising children, most especially single mothers don't just have one child. These idiots, sorry to say, if there's any single father here or baby father here, but these fathers, they leave the woman to take care of the children, and while she's dealing with that, she has to think of her job, and she has to think of settling for a love life. She's human too. She also needs love. She needs someone to make her feel good. She needs someone to put some smile on her face. And how can she be worried about getting a smile on her face when she's worried about what will become of her children growing up without the father always being present in the house? Not like he's traveling for some business trip or something, but he's just absent because they're not together. And even when they're together, there's some sort of awkward moments in the atmosphere. Like, the atmosphere becomes awkward because there's no love between the father and the mother. And next thing, they put the children, most especially, in between crossfires. The father is having some issues with the mother and trying to snatch the children from the woman, or the woman, and they expose the children to some kind of lifestyle that they are not ready for, taking them to court and all of that stuff for custody. That's not a black man thing. We never used to go to court for anything because we had universal laws to guide us for a lot of things. So I don't really understand why a man will say, okay, I'm in love with this girl, and years later he will be like, oh man, this girl has changed. Bro, what were you thinking? Do you actually now, okay, let's just forget the fact that you're treating your sister, you're treating your daughter or anything now. If your sibling, brother or sister offends you, will you because of that offense cut all ties and say you're not interested in being blood anymore? Can you withdraw your blood from your body and say you're not being blood with that person anymore? No, you can't. So why would you pick someone's daughter from where she was all by herself, thinking of how she can be loved by another person? Then you come, you promise her everything, you promise her life, you promise her heaven, you promise her all the jewelries in the world, you promise her all the gold that you can get from Ghana. And at the end of the day, you still abandon her. And you expect her not to be broken. You expect her not to pass the bitterness and the anger to your children and every other man she meets. Black men need to buckle up. We need to buckle up because women are the source to our victory. They are the source to to bringing back the community to where it was before, because they used to be the ones who who actually safeguarded everything and called men, okay, you guys should just take care of this, just protect it, and let us take care of the children at home. Let's know that you're out there protecting us. That's why men used to go to war unless women used to join them. And women who joined them, most especially, were not mothers, so they had the opportunity to. If you check it, the women, most of the women who used to be warriors and Amazons, they were not really mothers. If I thought they were mothers, they were there. The reason why they were there was because they were outnumbered and they just needed to fill up the numbers. So if we are to look at it, women can actually live without men, but men can't live without women. If not, you'll be all bunch of faggots. Really, bunch of faggots. Because a woman can raise her children and still raise them right with the grandma being in the house. Now, a lot of us were raised by our grandmas. Even when our fathers were not around, we were raised by our grandmas. Our grandmas taught us how to do this, how to do that, and how to be respectful. So women can actually raise their children without the men there. But they need somebody to be there as the father figure. If not, the nation is falling. Hello?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro.
I'm here. I'm here. I can't. I can't even. Brother, you just killed it. That was awesome.
Okay, bro.
Awesome.
Uh,
Hey,
so I'm
listen.
going to step out now. Sorry, I'm going to step
Yeah.
out now. They need me outside. So I'm
All
going,
right, man.
I'm going, I'm going, I'm going to exit. Thank you for the opportunity, bro. I really appreciate, man.
No
I really
problem. And thank you
appreciate.
for coming out here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
All right, man. All right, everybody. That's my African brother, Lade, Nigerian born in Africa right now. Like I said, he's a screenwriter. He's on set right now. They're doing a movie. So he chimed in. And we won't, that's not the last we've seen of him. He'll be back on the show at some point and we'll talk some more. This brother's heavy, okay? So we'll enjoy what he has to bring to the table. But just to let you guys know, if any of you brothers been watching this, our big brothers from the continent are now watching. They're watching how we treat our women, and they don't like it. They don't like it, and we shouldn't like it, and we shouldn't be treating our women the way we're treating them. Okay. And so, on that note, I'm going to leave it there because I have to get back to work. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this afternoon of Gangster Talk. And wow, thanks to T. Washington for coming up, clarifying things. And now that T. Washington understands how we do things here, he's one of our brothers as well. See, we don't have a problem with disagreements. We can disagree. I'm cool with that. We okay with that. We just don't want to get into the petty name calling and stuff like that. We can disagree like men. I have no problem with that. Okay? And I will always let somebody come up here and clarify themselves and speak for themselves. Okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. What's going on, Briggs? Hey, Briggs, you know, it ain't even a podcast without you, Briggs. If you ain't here, man, I already told you, we bullshitting, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you ain't here. Briggs. Yeah, T. Washington, no problem, man. I appreciate you coming up, clarifying yourself, so you know we all good now. We all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. Okay? All this turning on each other, we got to cut that out. We got to start working out our differences. We got to learn how to talk to each other, even if sometimes talking to each other could be a little intense. That's okay. All right? That's fine. But we have to start listening to each other. You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody. Yeah, Briggs. Hey, Briggs, you know what it is, man. If you ain't here, man, we playing games, bro. We ain't even doing nothing. Briggs ain't here. All right. But anyway, y'all, thanks for tuning in to Gangsters Talk. I got to get out of here. Peace, power, and unity, everybody. We'll see you on the next podcast. All right? Until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Yo, y'all do this right? There's a lot more work where that came from. No doubt. Great. Are you having a good time so far? Alright. Come on the door, but we're gonna party here all night tonight. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. Never underestimate the real life. The gun swinging back, the same type of fuck. I let blood stay in every spot that I rock. I'm representing Jersey, spitting rhymes like a clock. Into the Cape Fear where MCs be shell shocked. I got the stash in my dash with the stock and the why all the views. Stupid hook conclusion. The pen with the low counting black in the Land Cruiser. I get a charge from the sound of the bus. I was made to crush. I went and rappers till they bust. My Benjamin is elite, negative. 20 sneak, we creep in a 5-car fleet. That's how I'm bouncing for the 9 lifts, son. We don't promote no masquerade, cause we was players from day one. We start trends, we make hits. KF and Larry be on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry be on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry be on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry be on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. KF and Larry be on some real life shit. Tinted windows cause I'm moving with heat. I got a mean ass broad in my shotgun seat. We get bumped any day of the week. That nigga Larry be making rappers retreat. You know it like I fell. Jake is on my tail. I blew up your block, I left the haze like black hell. I use an M16 to blast clowns off the planet in cold blood. My heart is made of granite. My counterpart, the K to the tap. Yeah, we can be a mass murderer when it's left. We got the whole game locked, so bricks on hold like a pimp on his stroll. I'm busting caps in the sugar-coated rap, yo. This is a lyrical terrorist manifesto. Sipping the Remy, getting lit. I'm hit. Ignite a fat split. I'm on some real life shit. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose. I'll leave a fools like heroin in your nose.